Good evening everyone and welcome to the final round, I'm saying it again, final round of the TTL Classic Series. We are here for round 4 of the championship, and as I said already, it's the final round here in Belgium at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. Scenes of many nightmare races, like 1998 for example. We should see some good racing here in the 2010 cars. Good evening everyone, I'm James Head, going to be taking you through the stream as always, and joining me in the commentary box, he wasn't here last week in Canada, but he now is in Belgium. It's a big good evening to Mr. Aidan Carter. Aidan, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Had to pick up the intro there. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Doing really well. Obviously you missed last week, so let's just go through what happened last week. And it was, of course, Siege taking the first victory from Charlie, and then Graham in the first race. It was, remind me off the top of my head, it's Venom who took it from, I forgot, Siege, and then Mashiro, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken. I think I've buggered that. No, Navy finished third in the second race. Oh, goodness me. This is how I don't remember things. It's been such a busy week with me starting my first job. But there we have it. That's what happened last week. But to go through the championship standings, I mean, it's still quite close. Navy on 137 points leading the way. Mashiro in second on 117 in second. And Siege in third on 109 in third. All to play for coming into tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think going into the last round, well, the last event today, obviously there's 2 races. Going into the last round, Navy needs a 30-point lead in the standings to win overall after the end of the first race because of obviously the altered point system. But yeah, at the moment, it's just looking at the standings. It is really close, not just for the top of the championship, but throughout the field there's a number of really good interesting battles to look at, because obviously Mashiro is going to be wanting to look ahead and try and catch up to Navy and maybe steal the championship off him, but he's got pressure from behind. He's got Siege only 8 points back, Charlie's had a good season, MCR Venom's just there as well on the Ferrari, and then behind that you've got Mays and Conti, Sean and Graham all locked in a battle for P6. So there's a lot of like rivalries this season that's kind of come out. A lot of groups of people that are kind of scoring very similar points to each other, and it's going to be interesting to see which one of those guys comes out on top.
Yeah, and to bring up on what we said as well in week 1, those guys that have not necessarily had the best point scores within the main leagues, within TTL F1, League 1 and League 2, have actually done quite well. I'm just taking Charlie for example, 102 points in 4th position. Absolutely fantastic. He drove his socks off last week in the first race. He drove really well, really consumative. Are we going to see the same tonight? These McLarens do reach out at 190 mile an hour even before you get onto the Kemmel Straight, because I've tried it myself.
Yeah, I think it's going to be likely to see the same thing from Charlie. I think Charlie's season's it's almost been an upward curve for him, hasn't it? He started off relatively slowly. He had a bit of a rough start to the season, but since the second round, obviously there's only been 4 rounds, but since the second round, it's just gone up and up and up for him, and he's really improved as the season's gone on. And it's hard to actually, when you look back at the races, I think we think of Charlie maybe finishing about 4th or 5th place and having some decent results, but you don't actually realise how many points that gets him, and he's actually had an amazing season considering that. So fair enough to Charlie. He's definitely probably been one of the standouts this season. I'd say maybe alongside the likes of Conti, I'd say he's probably one of the biggest standouts.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, I think this point system has really educated everyone and really got everyone into a competitive mindset, which is fantastic. And I think this point system really works well for these events, and I honestly would love to see more events like this run in the future with the same point system, because I think it rewards drivers who are not necessarily up there in the pace in the main leagues something to get a little bit of silverware and something to put essentially on their mantelpiece. Simple as that, their virtual mantelpiece.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely brings that, and obviously because the point system goes down all the way to the back of the field, it also rewards those people that, even if they've had a terrible race, they've continued on in the race and they've kept going. It still rewards those people as well, and that's how some people are still so high in the championship. That's why people like Bart and things like that are in the top 10 in the championship, because while they've not had the best races, they are still going round and they're still trying to finish the race, and then they're picking up points that way. So it rewards everyone all the way down to the bottom of the field.
How was Bart in 10th position after his Spain race?
I mean, well, that's him continuing on, isn't it? He didn't give up and he didn't stop.
I'm sure
he may have finished over a lap. Was it nearly 2 laps down? I think he finished.
Yeah,
but he still
did.
Finished, so we got the points, and that's where people like Honey Badger and Chapelele haven't finished. They've retired very early on in races and they've made mistakes, and that's where they've not picked up points.
I shall be bound to be in the chat later on about Bart, I'm guessing. But the qualifying is about to begin. We're just waiting on the final couple of drivers to ready up. In fact, I think we're going to go live now, onto the track. And we go on board with Graham in the 2010 Ferrari F10. A beautiful sight around here in Belgium. 20-odd turns await the drivers out on track tonight. Graham looking through turn 1, through La Source, and then run down the hill towards the Rouge and Radion, where I magically managed to invalidate at the top of Radion on the right-hand side. Let's see if Graham does the same thing as me. No, he doesn't. That's how to take a Rouge and Radion. That's a note to myself as well. Graham, though, in 13th position. Corvo, Conti, Charlie all up there early on, which is good to see. Hello to everyone tuning in, by the way. I can see you all tuning in frantically. 31.6 through the first sector for Graham. He's down in 10th position. Just got Mashiro ahead of him. Seems like the McLarens might be dominating. Charlie, Venom and Conti. There's quite a mix-up, actually, coming down towards through Brussels and then in towards X corner, which is the next corner up on the track. And then we go down towards P1. You cannot take this flat out, by the way. I tried taking the flat out and I spun. So let's just walk Graham through here. And yeah, very high 6th gear, exactly how I took it, and it's getting very close to the curve there, just a little bit too close for my liking. But now down towards the next section of turns, we come towards the end of the middle sector and towards Stavolo for the first time, and we will of course see all the corners coming up on your screen. Graham, 117.2 through the middle sector. The Gort is retired from the session. Through Stavolo he goes, and now up the road towards Blanchimont, where, of course, I think it was Patrese in 1992 had that awful crash with, I think it was John Alesi, if I'm not mistaken, off the top of my head, or Eddie Irvine. But Graham through Blanchimont safely. Now towards the bus stop chicane for the first time. Cowboy is retired from the session as well. Looks like Venom, Navy, Charlie could be your top 3. Navy just getting ahead of Venom towards the line, and it's only by a tenth of a second. Navy takes it from Venom in second. Charlie in third. Graham coming across the line, 46.5. But given that this is Belgium, 1 second separates the top 9. That is unbelievable for qualifying.
Yeah, it was really close to the end. I ran on board with Venom actually for the last part of his lap, and he was the lead car on the field for the majority of the lap. He just braked far too late for the bus stop. He made the corner, but his car was all over the place, and his exit from the bus stop was pretty ruined, and that's where Navy got him in the end. So Venom lost pole position, but he's looking really fast in that Ferrari, so don't count him out of battling Navy for the win. Just
comes to show how a tenth and a half of a second can cost you around here at Belgium. As simple as that. Navy takes it though from Venom in second. Good for his championship chances there for Navy. Charlie in third. Good qualifying from him with Honey Badger in fourth. That's what we like to see from Honey Badger. He's last down of the point scorers. Mashiro in fifth. Conti in sixth. Siege in seventh. Sean in eighth. Graham in ninth. As I reiterate, 9 drivers within the second of each other. Mays in 10th, Casper in 11th, Jeffrey in 12th, Zero coming in with a very conservative 2 minutes 6.4. I think he might have spun a couple of times on that lap. Gort and Cowboy going to be starting from the back of the field, but Navy surely has the advantage coming into race 1 because it's going to be quite difficult to overtake.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've already seen it this season that these cars, it's very difficult to overtake. So when you get close enough to make the move, you have to make it stick as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're just never going to get past. We especially saw that in Spain, didn't we? There was just huge trains of cars forming, and that's how Venom ended up winning the race in Spain, was because he was able to defend in the right places. So I think the start's probably very crucial here. I think the run down to La Source, while not as not run down to La Source Les Combes, I get all of them mixed up. They all sound the same to me, but into Les Combes, the chicane at the top of the hill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the run down to there, that's going to be probably the most crucial point in the first lap. But it's going to be difficult for Venom because obviously we know that Ferrari is not fast in a straight line, so he's going to have to get off to a brilliant start.
He will have to get off to a brilliant start, and we're just moments away from the formation lap actually beginning out on track. As always with these, it is one-shot qualifying, 25% to 11 laps worth of action that you guys will see out on track. And of course we run, well, 2 compound of tyres for these 2010 cars. Of course it's in the olden days in 2010, as I say it's in the olden days, it's only 10 years ago, but they have the prime and the option tyre. We only have the dry and the wet here in F1 2019, so these guys will obviously be running on the dry tyre because it's going to be clear weather and there's no threat of rain at all, which is a shame. I think it's Spa, we should have had a wet race, I think. But Navy, Venom leading us off on the line as we come down towards Les Combes. Got to be honest, Honey Badger, 4th position, Last out of the point scorers, 15th position on 23 points. He's an absolute wretched Classic Series. Is this the night tonight where we can put it right?
I feel like we've said that the entire season though, really, haven't we? He came to Australia and he didn't qualify very well in either race. And he had great pace in the race, but he just kept making mistakes. And then he qualified at the front at Spain and pretty much immediately ruined the race before the first corner at Spain. So I feel like every time we say he's going to do well, we jinx him. So I feel like it's best to say nothing about Honey Badger. But this is his last chance. This is his last chance to try and get some points on the board and climb up into the top 10. He's not far off the back of the top 10. It's a good result. We'll jump him straight up there. So yeah, this is his last chance really to do anything about being at the back of the field.
Yeah, I've got to be honest though, Charlie ahead of him has qualified very well as well. Honey Badger has shown very much glimpses of pace in this car, within qualifying and indeed sometimes within the race as well. He's got to really try and put it right tonight. I think he's been quite unlucky this season as well. He's got caught up in a few incidents that really haven't been his fault at all, so he'll be hoping for a much better result and a much better outcome tonight. Looking further down the field though, mine strikes out at me. Callboy, down in 15th position, had a very good debut. Oh, as we see Honey Badger spin it, which is unbelievable. He was warming up the tyres through blood schmoen and he spun. So Callboy, as I was saying, Callboy down in 15th position. I think he might be the one to watch from the back of the field, but I'm going to push you because we're running a little bit towards the final corners now. Top 3, who is it?
I think we're going to see Venom win the first race today. I think Venom will take it. Second, I will say Navy. Third, I'm going to go for Mashiro in third.
Mashiro in third. Very weird car choices, I've got to be honest. Yeah, McLaren, Ferrari and Red Bull for top 3 for you.
One of each car. One
of each. I'm going to go Navy, Venom and Conti. I think Conti might go and have a good race here. But the 5 red lights are about to go out here for the penultimate time here in the Classic Series, and it's lights out and away we go. Very quick start by Venom. Wow. Goodness me, he's already got the jump on Navy and he's already in the lead. Coming down towards turn 1. Honey Badger down the inside of Mashiro. Mashiro, in fact, trying to go all the way around the outside. Looks like he might have just got that move done on Honey Badger. Siege is through. There's a spinner in the background, which is 0, I think. Callboy has got through safely. Everyone running down towards Blonde towards the route and rally on for the first time. Siege and Mashiro side by side on this contact, and Siege is out of the race. Mashiro and Siege side by side up towards the route and rally on never works, and that has really paid them the fight right there. Venom and Navy though battling for the lead of the race. Venom locks up, goes wide, nearly into Navy. Charlie trying to get the move done around the outside as well, but Venom hangs on. Venom hangs on to the lead of the race. Navy second, Charlie third. It's absolute madness in behind. Honey Badger fourth, Mashiro fifth, Sean in sixth. Graham has jumped up a good few positions. Callboy's got past the Gort early on, but Navy under pressure from Charlie in behind. Honey Badger's got a good start as well there in fourth position, but it's Venom who leads, Navy second, Charlie in third. First half of the lap, relatively clean, I think.
Relatively clean, yeah. That side-by-side action through Mashiro and Siege. I don't really know what to think about that one. It was risky to go side-by-side from the pair of them. Neither of them wanted to give up the position, and it ended up with contact. I don't think it was really, apart from backing out at the bottom of Eau Rouge, there was nothing they really could have done to avoid that. But Mashiro is lucky to get away with it, and he's still in this race, so he needs to try and get as close to McLaren's in front and try and not let Navy disappear off into the distance.
Just watching on board with Casper, he's right on the back of Conti here. He was all over the back of him coming through Stavilo. Conti obviously in 8th position, trying to catch up to Graham. That Ferrari looks a little bit slow in the straight line. Conti trying to get him down towards bus stop chicane. They all filter through in single file. There's Venom who leads, Navy second, Charlie third. Callboy and the Gort are having a good battle. Looks like Callboy has actually got that move done now for 12th position, so the Irishman is through. Watch out for him as he makes the way through the field perhaps. But Casper trying to dive it down the inside, not quite. Venom will lead, Navy second. Are we going to see a potential overtake down towards Lecom? Maze and Callboy having a bit of a scrap down the hill. Maze is through on Callboy for 11th still. But Venom leads, Navy in second. Charlie in third. You can see them battering out here at 190 mile an hour. Maze and Jeffrey in the meantime are side by side running down. Looks like Maze has actually got that move done. So Maze is through down the straight, and here comes Callboy possibly on the brakes. Very late on the brakes. Down the inside of Jeffrey. Can he get the move done? Jeffrey just about hanging on to that. And Callboy might have to be under pressure from Gort. The Gort has gone around the outside of him. So very costly for Callboy. Gort up into 12th position, Callboy down to 13th, and we had a good battle there. There's so much action going on.
Yeah, just on board with Casper at the moment. Like we said, he's all over the back of Conti. That Red Bull's so fast in the middle part of the lap, but there's just a huge slipstream train forming at the moment, and there's not really anything anyone can do. So I think Casper's going to have to wait for a mistake from Conti to try and make that move stick in that Red Bull. As I say, that Conti's... Oh my word! Casper was so much faster mid-corner than Conti. Almost caught him out. He got away with it in the end, but Christ almighty, that's the kind of mistake Casper's waiting for from Conti to try and capitalise, but it just wasn't in the right point in the track.
It's exactly what happened on lap 1 as well, because Casper was trying to go down the inside of Conti as well, at the same position.
Yeah, Honey Badger. Charlie took a P3. Also, maybe having a look at Venom into the source, but not quite close enough. Same with Honey Badger as well, he's not quite able to make the move on Charlie yet either, so they say as they are, but the top two are starting to gap Charlie ever so slightly now. Mashiro is holding onto the back of Honey Badger at the moment and dropping Sean behind who's in 6th, so the top 5 getting away from the rest of the field. Mashiro
fastest lap of the race, or maybe trying to dive down the inside of Venom there, very late on the break. Venom gets the move done. Navy plus no DRS or ERS or anything like that, so you're not going to hear the formal terminology here in the Classic Series, but Venom, here comes Navy. But look at the revving engine, 190 mile an hour, look at the RPM, who's quicker down the straight, Venom or Navy? It looks like Venom, I think, is just going to hang on, to be honest, because he's bottling out at 190 mile an hour, and Venom hangs on. You cannot get an overtake here in these cars, especially around the track like Belgium. It is going to be so difficult to overtake.
It is, yeah, but at this point in the race, it does look like Navy is the faster driver, doesn't it? He's able to stick so close to the back of that Ferrari. It's just the straight, they're maxing out before the straights really started, so they're not really gaining anything as soon as they get to the top of Rayon. So I imagine we're probably going to see Navy maybe go for a move at the bus stop or into the source and try and get the move done before the straights.
Arguably, I think though Venom has had a much better middle sector than Navy this time around, because Venom has actually pulled out a little bit of a gap, about a 1/10 of a second, but that 1/10 of a second could be the difference between you getting the overtake done and not getting the overtake done. That is the fine margins we're talking about here in the Classic Series. I mean, Navy's 300th off his personal best. Venom trying to break the toe, but look at that, he's 6.5 clear, coming through towards Blanchimon once again. Venom now trying to defend off Navy. You can already see though, Navy maxing it out at 191 mile an hour, 18,000 RPM down into bus stop chicane, and there's no chance he can get close to Venom. There is absolutely no chance at all. Kurz could be featured in this race, to be honest, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Venom maxing at 190 and McLaren's at 191. On board with Mashiro, he was maxing out at 188. I feel so sorry for Mashiro at the back of his queue. He's running slower straight onto his... Oh, Honey Badger's round! Yeah, just as he's starting to have a good race, he drops it on the traction and exit source and loses his front wing completely. And that's a position gone from McLaren driver. Another mistake from Honey Badger.
He's lost his front wing as well. Yeah, just powered out of the corner completely through the source. Got to be careful because Casper's just in behind and Navy in the meantime trying to get close to the back of Venom. But again, he's not close enough. Venom hangs on to the lead of the race from Navy. We'll see Casper maybe getting the move done. Yeah, Honey Badger lets him through. So Honey Badger letting Casper through. Casper now up to 8. There's a good battle going on further down the field. A bit of a train forming up behind Maze as Honey Badger pulls off and lets these guys through, which I think is very respectful and good sportsmanship shown there by the Dutchman. But Maze is hanging on for grim life, I think, because Jeffrey the Gort and Cowboy, 2 McLarens and 1 Red Bull, are chasing down the backside of Maze. And I've got to be honest, Maze probably looking the slower out of these 4, to be honest.
I would say, yeah, he is definitely slower of the 4, but Jeffrey very wide. And look at the run that the Gort's got coming out of Fuon. Wow. He's going to go all the way around the outside. Jeffrey sticks in really late on the brakes. But Gort's going to go all the way around the outside.
Brilliant.
Got it. Jeffrey's still there. Jeffrey's still on the inside. He has a lurk and Jeffrey's back up the inside and he's going to get the move stuck again. So great defending from Jeffrey. I'm amazed he hung on to that. But just look at that side-by-side action for 2 corners and look at the gap that Maze has got. It's over a second already.
Here comes the Gort around the outside of Blanchimon. He's going to come back now at Jeffrey. Not around the outside of Blanchimon, is he?
Is he?
He is.
Late on the brakes. How did he get that one stopped? And he's going to pull it back up again. Jeffrey's going to go back around the outside.
As well.
My word. This is a battle for 10th.
A battle for 10.
The incredible stuff. Jeffrey, though, can be so late on the brakes in that Red Bull. It's ridiculous. And he's just able to outbrake the McLarens.
Cowboy and the Gort side by side running down towards the Rouge and Radion. We saw this before on lap 1. Back out. Cowboy's got the move done.
Very well. Wow. So that's that one from Cowboy. Fair enough from Gort backing out of that one. Very smart from Gort to keep going in this race, and he's not dropped too far for back of Cowboy anyway. So he can always back it in later on in the race.